Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this is Quiet Quarters for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic, another scenario from Blaze's first scenario pack. Situated on a bunch of small, quiet islands, this tiny theme park could use some growing. Your objective, to have at least 1,500 guests in your park at the end of October Year 3, with a park rating of at least 600. So not a huge goal, but then it's not a huge park. It's quite small, yes. But the water isn't very deep, so it's not going to cost a lot to build over the water. Okay, so we're charging for entry. I'm going to put that up to 40. As I always say, guests won't pay it initially, but once I've got enough rides down, which won't take long with the speed I build, they'll soon pay it. And it means I haven't got any guests coming in that haven't spent a decent amount of money. Okay, so we got some gentle rides. Got some coasters. Good selection, to be honest, to begin with. Some good thrill rides. I mean, that's a bit of a chunky boy there, so I don't know how we're going to fit that in. Water rides and not a bad selection of shops. And I think, actually, having said that, I've only got 3 varieties of food stall. So I'm going to need at least one more to avoid winning Worst Park Award. And I figure we could probably run research on shops for at least the first year, because we've got so much of everything else. Okay, so can we buy extra land? Okay, we can up here. Oh, and over there. Okay. And what about, no. Okay, so we can buy extra land if we need it. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, why don't we build like a boardwalk style park? So we'll just flood the area with wooden sort of paths to make it look like a boardwalk, put rides in between, and just build out and out and out, and maybe flatten this land down a little if we need to, and just see how we get on. October year 1, we've got over 700 guests, so we're well on our way. So here is the boardwalk style park then. So we've got a top spin just there in the corner. We've got a little 4x4 plaza as you come in. We've got a little maze as well. Got some more shops. And then on the side then, we've got some swan boats as well. And they go underneath the path. And I've got some little fence there to make it look like you're keeping them in. In reality, I am using track. And then we've got, okay, go-karts that have broken down. Guests love go-karts, even if they're rubbish. And then we've got a little log flume just over here. Decent stats on that. And a looper as well. So the sort of rides I'm going for are the sort of style you might see at a park like this. They'd have a little flume that's not very good and a very basic looping coaster. But I mean, this is a cool design. It's pretty quick. You could build a mirror image if you wanted to, and you'd get a synchronization bonus. Cool. Yeah, so this is working really well. We've used about a third of the area that we've got to start with, and we've got almost half the guest goal. So I don't think we're going to need to buy any extra land. We should be able to do this. So yeah, let's crack on. I am researching thrill rides now, so let's see what we can unlock and what we can build. October year 2, and we've been busy this year. 1,266 guests, so only a few hundred more then. So we've been busy. We've got this lobster stand-up twister. So as the park is getting bigger, we're going for some better rides. And we can even start giving them maybe some better names as well. So we've got that. What was the stats on this? Decent excitement there. It's very basic. It goes up, it comes down, it does a couple of loops, it goes back to the station. But the guests love it. Cheap and cheerful, that's what we want to go for. especially on a park where you're charging for entrance. Enterprise here, always popular with the guests, some seating areas, some more shops, kiosks, toilet next to them. That's one of my tricks I like to do. Always have a toilet next to your kiosk. Basically, the kiosk pays for the toilet, and it makes sure you've always got a decent spread of toilets throughout your park. Because everyone wants to win the best toilet award. Speaking of which, so I'm actually playing this scenario whilst in the hotel room. We went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and the best toilets award, they're real, and they've won loads of them. And you know what? I was a bit worried about how crammed I build some of my parks, but that park is insane for how crammed it is, but it's everything is sort of on top of each other, but it's done in such an amazing way. Amazing park. It's tiny, but once you're inside, it feels huge. So that came out wrong. Yeah. So anyway, we've got splash boats, Splashtastic. Good stats on that. So a really good ride for getting guests off the paths and reducing overcrowding because of the capacity. Let's have a look at this one. So we've got. Let's have a look. We've got 220 guests actually on the ride, and another almost 100 in the queue. So that's about a third or a quarter of the guests just tied up to this one ride. And then we've got a drop tower just there and a motion simulator. And then we've got this area here ready for expansion in the final year. And honestly, if we do nothing, we might pass the goal just on guests sort of coming in and guests staying, but we are going to build some cool rides up here. So let's crack on. Okay, so it's July year 3. We've got 1,630 guests and we've got the green arrow, so it's going up. We're going to get more guests. We only need 1,500. We've added in another looping coaster. We've got a wooden coaster just here. We've got some pirate ships. We've got a magic carpet and we've got a roto drop as well. So because we've already got the goal and we've got more guests coming in as well, what I'm going to do, what I have done, is I've looked at how much money the guests have got when they're coming in. So let's have a look. There's two just there. Diana, she's got 88. And can I get the other one? No, I'm sure there was two there. There you go. 68. 68. So most of these guests can't afford to come in. That was the same one. Oh, that person's gone in. See if I can get them. 98. So Ronald, he's got enough cash. So Ronald will be able to go in. All the others haven't. So because I've already done the goal, I'm able to sort of micromanage it like this. That way, if I see the guest numbers tumbling, I can reduce the entry so more guests can come in. But at the moment, we've got a nice buffer. And the last thing I want is for there to be a problem with overcrowding. Because as I said earlier, with the amount of guests on this, so it's currently 224 and another 50. So it's 300 guests. Let's say it starts raining and those guests won't go on the ride. I'm going to get problems with overcrowding, especially up if you look at these areas here. So what I've been doing as well is just going around doing things like fences, some basic scenery as well. I've still got some more fences to go just around this part, but other than that, I'm basically done. So yeah, let's just see out the rest of the year and then we can beat the goal and get on with the next one. October year 3, only 2 weeks to go then. We've got 1,555 guests in the park. So because the guest numbers have reduced slightly, I've reduced the price down to 68. That way everyone that's entering should be able to pay and come into the park. Cool. So haven't added anything really since we last spoke. I've just finished off the scenery, fences, that sort of thing. Make sure all my staff are covering areas I want them covered, because the last thing we want is for there to be like a huge sick area, and a lot of guests to sort of go across it and everyone to complain, and then the rating to tank and fail a scenario at the last moment. That's not going to happen. We've got this sewn up. Okay, so what did we do then? Hang on. Oh, there you go. I've switched off. I've switched off funding as well. I've switched off research. We've got everything we needed. I think we did automatically research and invert when it finished off researching the thrill rides, but after that we switched it off. So we came in then, and what we started doing was we researched shops because we didn't have a good enough variety of shops. So I wanted to make sure we didn't win worst park food award, which we would have done if we only had the 3 different types of food, or we might have done, I should say. So we put this little 4x4 pattern down at the start just to get my shops and things in, but we put a maze in there, so a bit of a variation on that. And then off that, then we put these rides. We're building in like a boardwalk style, so we're using good space usage by having the tracks for the water rides underneath the path and the tracks of the go-karts up and over the path and over the other rides. Once we've done that, then we can start going into some bigger and better rides. I'm doing these simple little path loops with rides inside. So we've got the log flume, and since we were only a small park at the time, we've got boring generic names for the log flume and the looping coaster. I'm not sure if I've ever told you, but one thing I do, and I don't know why I do it, but it's sort of like in my head canon, if this was a real park, the rides with the exclamation marks on the end, they would indicate that you're probably going to get wet, and there would be a key on the park map for that. It's just something dumb I do. Shops down here, we got a twist just down there, and then after that now we're starting to get some money. We're starting to get good guest numbers. We're getting some bigger and better rides. So we've got the stand up. So we've gone for a B&M. We've had B&M in here, and we've built one of them, and then we've got a splash boats as well. Insanely popular. Enterprise just down there. Guests love that. Filling out the park with thrill rides and pathing and stuff like that. Look, see, if you look, the motion simulator is right on the edge. And then after that, then year 2, we'd already built these path loops just up here. So year 2 then, we've just built the looper and the wooden coaster and these rides up here. We were getting 1,650 guests in the park. So what I did was I had a look to see how much cash the guests were coming in at, and it was sort of between, I think it was between like 68 and 98 or something like that. So I put the price of the entrance up to 98. That way, only a fraction of the guests coming or being spawned would have that money and will pay. So it stops the park from getting too crowded and brings the guest numbers down slightly. And it worked. And then once we had about 1,550 guests, I reduced the price of the entry down to 68. That way all the guests should be able to afford that. Yeah, look at that. We're making tons of cash. So you can see where it's like April 9,000, May. Then you got the lower figures there. Because even though we're charging more, we're still getting less in. So, and then put the price up, and we're making bank. There you go. Yeah, so quite a fun scenario then. Good way for me to pass the time whilst in the hotel in between our Blackpool trip. I did think about doing a vlog for it, but honestly, I read so much online about how they're really funny in the park about it. I did take some footage, but I'll probably never get round to doing anything with it. I might share some pictures or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's a really fun park to go to. The actual town itself, wow, it's just looks like something you'd expect in like a post-apocalyptic film. But the actual park itself was amazing. Yeah, so let's have a look. We'll start off with the lesser rides and move up to the back as well. So yeah, this was Quiet Quarters, another scenario from Blazing Empire HD's first scenario pack. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.